about some examples. First of all, see illustration number 6. A straight wire carrying a current of 12 ampere is bent into a semicircular arc of radius 2 cm as shown in figure. Consider the magnetic field on B at the center of the arc. Right. So here a straight wire carrying current of a 12 ampere. So here I is equals to 12 ampere. 12 ampere. And here this straight wire is bent into a circular arc of radius 2 cm. So R is equals to 0.02 meter. So here this circular wire will be straight wire. Sorry friends. This straight wire is bent into this semicircular like this. Now the magnetic field we have to consider at a center of arc. Then first of all, what is the magnetic field due to a straight segment? So first of all, we have to find out the magnetic field due to a straight segment. So we know that for straight wire B is equals to mu 0 by 4 pi I dl cross vector r upon r cube. Right. So for straight wire, the equation of magnetic field will be like this: vector B is equals to mu 0 by 4 pi I dl cross vector r upon r cube. Right. So here consider friends, this is the straight wire like this. So here for this straight wire, the direction of length element dl and r are same. Right. So here the direction of dl and r are same. So theta will be 0. So B is equals to mu 0 by 4 pi I dl r sin theta upon r cube. So if theta will be 0, then sin 0, 0. So if theta will be 0, then sin 0, 0. So here sin theta is equals to sin 0 is equals to 0. So magnetic field will be 0. So for straight wire, the direction of dl and r are same. So if the direction is same, so theta 0, and we know that sin 0, 0. So magnetic field will be 0. Now for B, in what way the contribution to magnetic field from semicircles differs from that of a circular loop, and in what way does it reassist? Now friends, we know that for a circular coil, the magnetic field B is equals to mu 0 I upon 2R. And if there are n numbers of turn, then mu 0 I n upon 2R. Right. Now, but this is for like this circular coil. Right. But here the straight wire will be bent in semicircular. So if semicircular is there, then this magnetic field will be held, or we can say divided by 2. Right. For this semicircular ring like this, B dash will be mu 0 I. Here there are no numbers of turn is given, so mu 0 I upon 2R. So mu 0 I upon 2R. But this equation for semicircular we have to divide by 2. So divide by 2. So 1 by 2. So for circular coil, magnetic field will be mu 0 I upon 2R. But if there is a semicircular coil, then magnetic field will be half of total magnetic field B. So B dash is equals to B by 2. So mu 0 I upon 2R by 2. Right. Or here we can also say that B dash is equals to B by 2. So the magnetic field will be held if there is a semicircular coil. Now
third case. Would your answer be different if the wire were bent into a semicircular arc of the same radius but in the opposite way as shown in figure?
So in third case, this wire is bent like this, right, in opposite direction as compared to this figure, first one, right? So here the direction will be changed. So for this case, the direction of magnetic field will be changed, but the magnitude will remain same. So for this, the magnitude of B will remain same, but the direction will be in opposite, right? So if the wire is bent like this as shown in this figure, so magnitude of magnetic field will be remain same, but the direction will be in opposite. So the direction of magnetic field will be changed, or we can also say that, but the direction of magnetic field will be changed, right? So you can also write like this. For this case, the magnitude of B will remain same, but the direction of magnetic field will be changed, or you can say magnetic field will be in opposite direction, right? So this is the illustration number 6. Once again friends, for straight wire magnetic field will be 0. Why? Because BL and R in same direction, so theta 0, sin 0 0, so magnetic field 0. If straight wire will be bent like this in semicircular shape, so as compared to circular coil, the magnetic field will be held because this wire will be bent in semicircular form. Then in third case, if the direction is opposite, then the magnitude of magnetic field will remain same, but the direction is changed, or we can say the direction of magnetic field will be in opposite direction. So the magnitude will remain same, but the direction change.
Now see friends, our next example, that is illustration number 8. See, figure shows a long straight wire of a circular cross section of radius A.
So the wire will be like this and having a cross section A. So here the cross section will be A. So this is A.
Now, carrying a steady current I.
So the current passing through this cross section of radius A is
I. The current I is uniformly distributed across this cross section. Calculate the magnetic field in region R less than A and R
greater than A. So we have to find out magnetic field for R greater than A, R greater than A and R less than A, right? So here friends, we have to find out magnetic field for R greater than A and R less than. First of all, we find out the magnetic field for R greater than A. So if R greater than A, so the cross section will be like this, right, having radius R greater than A. So this is R greater than A as shown in figure. So if R greater than A, we have to find out magnetic field. So to find out magnetic field, we have to use the Ampere circuit law. So we know the equation, close integral B dot dl is equals to mu 0 sigma I. So here the direction of B and dl are same. So B integration of dl is equals to mu 0. Here R greater than A, so we have to consider a cross section having a radius R. So current passing through this cross section will be I as shown in figure. So total current passing through this cross section of radius R is I. So B integration of dl, that means total length. So here there is a cross section of radius R, and this length, the length of this cross section is circumference, that is 2 pi r. So 2 pi r is equals to mu 0 I. So B is equals to mu 0 I upon 2 pi r. So here if R is greater than A, then B is equals to mu 0 I upon 2 pi r. Once again friends, here current passing through cross section area A is I as given in equation. We have to find out magnetic field for R greater than A and R less than A. So first of all, for R greater than, consider a cross section like this as shown in figure having radius small r. So to find out magnetic field, we use the Ampere circuit law. So Ampere circuit law, close integrand B dot dl is equals to mu 0 sigma I. So B integration dl is equals to mu 0, total current passing through cross section R will be I, right? So mu 0 I, but total length will be circumference, that is 2 pi r. So B into 2 pi r is equals to mu 0 I. So B is equals to mu 0 I upon 2 pi. Now for R less than A. Now if R less than A, here we assume R1 less than A, right? Instead of R less than A, we consider R1 less than A. So we have to define a cross section having R1 radius. So see here friends, this is the cross section having radius R1, like this. So this radius is R1. So to find out the magnetic field for R less than A, or we can say R1 less than A, we have to use Ampere circuit law. B dot dl is equals to mu 0 sigma I. So B integration dl is equals to mu 0. Suppose current passing through this cross section having radius R1. Here see friends, the current I is passing through the cross section having radius A, right? So see here friends, R1 is less than A. So we have to find out current that is passing through radius R1. So we assume current IE, which is passing from a cross section having radius R1. So B integration of dl, that is total length circumference 2 pi r, but here R1 less than A, so 2 pi R1 is equals to mu 0 IE. That is equation number 1. Because to find out magnetic field, first of all we have to find out current that is passing through the cross section of radius R1. Now to find out IE, we already know the concept of current density G, right? In chapter number 3 we discuss about current density, right? We know that current density will be always remain same, and we know that current density J is equals to I by A. So we know that current density J is equals to I by A. So here we can write current density for a cross section having radius R1 and current density for cross section having radius A. So for radius R1, current density will be pi R1 square, right? and current passing through the cross section having radius r1 is IE is equals to, now for cross section of radius A, area will be pi a square and current passing through the cross section A is total current I. So here pi cancel. We have to find out IE. So IE is equals to I into R1 square upon A square. That is equation number 2. Right? So we put the value of equation number 1. Put the value of equation number 2 into equation number 1. So from equation 1 and 2 we get B into 2 pi R1 is equals to mu 0 as it is, value of IE, I R1 square upon A square. We have to find out magnetic field B. So here we formulate B. So mu 0 I R1 square upon A square as it is. This 2 pi R1 goes into denominator like this. So here this R1 cancel. So mu 0 I R1 upon 2 pi A square. Right? So the magnetic field will be mu 0 I R1 upon 2 pi A square. So here mu 0 I 2 pi A square as it is. So we can write equation will be like this, mu 0 I upon 2 pi A square as it is into R1. Because these terms mu 0 I 2 pi A square remains same, only R1 will be changed. So here we can say that B inversely proportional to R1, right? And here we can say that B inversely proportional to R. Sorry friends, here we can write B proportional to R1 because R1 is in numerator, right? So B proportional to R1, right? Once again friends, we have to find out magnetic field for R less than A and R greater than A. So first of all, for R greater than A, we consider a cross section having radius small r. So to find out magnetic field, we use Ampere circuital law. So close integral B dot dl is equals to mu 0 sigma I. So B integration dl is equals to mu 0 I. Integration dl, that means total length 2 pi r. So B into 2 pi r is equals to mu 0 I. So B is equals to mu 0 I upon 2 pi r. So here mu 0 I and 2 pi constant. So B inversely proportional to R. Now if R less than A, or we can say R1 less than A, so we consider a cross section having radius R1. So to find out magnetic field, once again B integration dl is equals to mu 0 sigma I. But here current passing through this cross section having radius R1 is IE, right? Because see here friends, current I is passing through cross section having radius small a, but here A is greater than R1, or we can say R1 is less than A. So current passing through R1 is IE. So B integration dl, that means 2 pi R1 is equals to mu 0 I. So to find out magnetic field, first of all we have to find out IE. So we know that current density will always remain same, J is equals to I by N. So here we can write the current density for radius R1 and for A. So for R1, current density will be area pi R1 square, and current passing through R1 radius is IE. So IE upon pi R1 square. Then for A, area will be pi A square, and current passing through cross section of A will be I. So here pi cancels, so IE is equals to I into R1 square upon A square. So here we put the value of equation number 2 in equation 1. So from equation 1 and 2 we get B into 2 pi R1 is equals to mu 0, value of IE, I R1 square upon A square. Here we formulate B, so R1 cancel, so we get B is equals to mu 0 I R1 upon 2 pi A square. but here mu 0 I 2 pi a are constant, so we can say that B proportional to R1, right? So this is the illustration number 8, right? Now we will discuss our next illustration, that is illustration number 10. See,
The horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field at a certain plane is 3 into 10 raised to minus 5 Tesla.
so horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field is given. So horizontal component is BH, right? Why BH? Because horizontal component.
So BH is equals to 3 into 10 raised to minus 5 Tesla.
Now,
And the direction of magnetic field is from geographic south to geographic north.
so see here friends, this is the north, south, east, west. Here the direction of magnetic field is from south to north. So the direction of magnetic field will be like this, BH, from south to north.
Now, a very long straight conductor is carrying a steady current of 1 ampere.
So here we know the value of current, that is 1 ampere.
What is the force per unit length on it when it is placed on a horizontal table? And the direction of current is, in first case, east to west, and in second, south to north. So we have to find out, friends, force per unit length, that means F by L. For first case, the direction will be from east to west. So first case for east to west. So first of all, for east to west, we have to find out force per unit length. So we know the formula, F is equals to Bill sin theta, right? Here we have to find out force per unit length. So here we can write that F by L is equals to BI sin theta, right? But instead of B, we have to write BH because here horizontal component is given. So F by L is equals to BH sin theta. Now friends, we have to find out force per unit length for direction east to west. So the direction will be like this, east to west. So see here friends, here the angle is like this, 90. So here for east to west, the direction will be 90. So here from the figure, we can say that theta is equals to 90. And we know that sin 90 is equals to 1. So F by L is equals to BH I sin 90. Sin 91, so BH into I. So value of BH 3 into 10 raised to minus 5 and I 1 ampere. So force per unit length F by L is equals to 3 into 10 raised to minus 5 Newton per meter, right? So here for first case, force per unit length is 3 into 10 raised to minus 5. Now, in second case, we have to find out the force per unit length for direction south to north.
So B for south to north. Now for south to north, so the direction will be like this, south to north, like this. So here the direction will be same. Here if we move from south to north, so we move same in the direction of horizontal magnetic field. So here from the figure, theta is equals to 0. Why? Because the direction will be same. So if theta 0, then sin theta is equals to sin 0, and we know that sin 0 is equals to 0. So F by L is equals to BHI sine 0, and we know that sine theta is equals to sine 0 is equals to 0. So force per unit length F by L is equals to 0, right? So for east to west direction, we can see here that the angle is 90. So sine 91. So force per unit length BHI, value of sine 91. So force per unit length 3 into 10 raised to minus 5 Newton per meter. Now for second case, the direction will be south to north. So here the direction is south to north, and horizontal component having same direction south to north. So here the direction is same. So we can say that from the figure theta is equals to 0, and we know that sine 0 0. So from the formula F by L, BHI sine theta, but sine theta is equals to sine 0 is equals to 0. So we can say that force per unit length is equals to 0 Newton per meter. So if the direction is east to west, then F by L is equals to 3 into 10 raised to minus 5 Newton per meter. And if the direction is from south to north, then force per unit length will be 0. Right? So here we can say that if you have to find out the force per unit length, if the direction will be same, then theta will be 0, and if perpendicular with each other, so theta will be 90. Okay friends, so this is about illustration number 6, 8 and 10. Okay friends, thank you.